The costs of transfer. There are many costs of transfer. Usually, the parties contract that the purchaser is liable for all these costs incidental to the transfer process, and it is payable to the conveyancer upon demand. Now, transfer costs consist of the fees payable to the attorneys for the drafting of documents, for effecting registration of transfer, for drafting of bond documents and the registration of the new bond if applicable, as well as certain duties payable to SARS or to the local authority or to the body corporate if you're buying in a sectional title complex. I'm going to start with transfer duty, which is the tax payable upon acquisition of property by the purchaser. Transfer duty is therefore a form of tax. If we have a purchase price of 1.1 million rands, for example, the first 500,000 rands of that 1.1 million is exempt. The second 500,000, the difference between 500 and a million, is taxed at 5%, which amounts to 25,000 rands. And the excess portion over a million is 100,000, and on that 8% transfer duty is payable, which amounts to 8,000 rands. So the total transfer duty for this transaction will be 0 plus 25,000 plus 8,000, which will give us a total of 33,000 rands transfer duty payable to the receiver of revenue. This is not the only fee or cost involved in this transaction. It's merely the tax payable to SARS. There are also what we call transfer fees. These fees are payable to the conveyancer and are actually set out in a tariff, which is a schedule used by all conveyancers according to fees allowed by the Law Society. These costs can be obtained from our website or can be seen in our cost booklet that we distribute annually to all estate agents and purchasers alike. So when we calculate these fees, they are added to the transfer duty. Once we have calculated those fees and duties, we also have to establish the amounts payable to the local authority and or the body corporate if it's a sectional title unit that we are buying. Rates are payable in advance until the end of the municipal year, which is always 30 June. So depending on whether registration takes place before or after the 30th of June, rates will then be payable by the purchaser from date of registration in advance until the 30th of June. Whether it is 11 months in advance or if registration takes place in April, it will literally be 2 months in advance. So that is another important part of the costs to establish prior to you getting the fright of your life when you see your statement of account. Body corporate levies are usually also paid in advance, although their financial year is not necessarily the same as the municipal year. So the municipal year will always run from the 1st of July till the 30th of June, and the body corporate's year might end at the 31st of December, which means that the purchaser will then be liable to pay sectional title levies pro rata from date of registration until the 31st of December, whereafter you will again start paying monthly. The same with rates.